What?
Listen, Josh. Josh, you want to know something hilarious?
Yeah, buddy, put him up! Yeah! Big old boy, he's shaking.
It's like something heavy on the right portion.
Hey guys, it's Jennifer with Asgard Radio. I am here with...
When everything's taken.
Can you guys introduce yourselves?
James on vocals.
Josh on guitar. Lyle bass.
And Will on vocals and drums.
Awesome. So what is the meaning behind the name?
Everything we wanted to call ourselves was taken. So our old vocalist came up with the idea for When Everything's Taken because the acronym is WET and it has a deeper meaning.
Background story real quick.
Alright,
Wow.
so
I hate all of you.
us three are actually from Wisconsin. We moved down here about a year ago. We
Oh boy, you can fuck up a whipped cream.
Nice save though, he didn't save it.
Oh god, now my pants are
Wet. Oh!
Alright, so yeah, us three are from Wisconsin. We moved down here about a year ago. It started off with pretty much Lyle and I jamming in a group with our old roommate Quentin back home, and Will and I jamming in another group named Cycle Down, which we left. Essentially, we formed one cohesive group and brought some of the songs over that Will and I were jamming, and some of the songs that you and I were jamming, and voila, got a vocalist there. Jammed for about 2 years?
Well, we got a vocalist, jammed for about a month, and got another vocalist, and then we jammed for about a year and a half as that group.
Alright. Then we moved down here, trying to, broaden our horizons, and just really didn't work out. Vocalist wanted to go home. Understandable. Either way, we then found this beast of a guy, and he has filled that spot beautifully. I mean,
Yeah, I get a random text, I was like, who is this? And then I get like a whole book worth of, hey man, found your stuff online, blah blah. I was like, where did you get my number? I don't remember posting anything online. But I actually almost didn't show up for the audition because I had auditioned for another band, and I was actually kind of settled with them. But I was like, well, I'm gonna be professional. I told them I'd show up. I'm gonna show up. Then I get there and was like, I almost messed up. This is amazing. They especially when they played. Actually, one of the songs that was going to be on the new EP, Left With This, I heard that song and I was sold. I was like, I'm in the band. I don't care what they say. I'm getting in this band. And so, after the audition, I immediately went home and started recording my vocals on one of their tracks so I could show them what all I could do, and sent it to them. I was like, hey guys, just wanted to let you know. And yeah, I went from there in the band. We have a new EP coming out.
When?
Coming out February 8th, this upcoming Monday. Oh, wow. Whoa. It's called Shattered. And, yeah, it's...
Mind shattering.
Yeah, it is breathtaking. There's quite a bit more melody in this EP, but equally as heavy. So that's a pretty cool marriage of, sounds that we were able to pull off. A little more technicality in the music.
I guess the difference in this EP versus the last one is that there's a bit more singing. Our first vocalist did mainly screaming, so I did all the actual clean vocals, and then when he came in, he started taking over some of the clean vocals, and then we started doing tandem clean vocals. So this one has a lot more melody. It's also more musically inclined. The riffs are a little less simplistic, but not overly complicated to the point where some people might not be able to follow them.
It has a good contrast that makes those heavier parts just really punch out. Each one of us is bringing in more and more influences on the newer stuff that we're working on.
chaotic, yet something that people can bob their heads to.
Yeah.
Like, there's groove, there's chaos, and then there's also the like beautiful side to it that you can actually put melody over.
What is y'all's favorite song?
This.
Why?
Because I wrote it. Because I have a lot of bass parts that are actually pretty intricate and cool and shine through, and kind of, it makes me feel like I'm, just quick backstory on my end of this group. Prior to joining this band, everything else I was doing was either like really a lot of reading kind of jazz stuff where you sit down and like look it over and like crazy melodies that you gotta follow and crazy walking bass lines, and then I was in prog metal bands and other stuff where everything was just thinking all the time, like Jesus Christ, this is just so much fast stuff. So this band, when I first joined it, was initially meant to be the project where I didn't have to turn my brain on.
I don't know, as far as tracks, it's a toss-up between Left With This and the title track Shattered. Both of them bring the noise with the heaviness, but then they also bring a lot of really cool synth patterns that these guys came up with, as well as like melodies, and they're both just really well-written songs that are just so much fun, so it's hard for me to just nail down just one.
When I'm in the process of writing, all I really want to do is think, what's in my head right now and what do I want to get out? So I just start laying ideas down, and before long, like Left With This, the piano part, I just sat down and just wrote that one day out of sheer boredom, and I was like, oh, I know these chords sound cool together, what happens if I start putting this shit together? And ultimately ended up with a cool little intro that led to a pretty decent song all in all. So I mean, it usually starts with one idea, and in all honesty, I have no idea where it's going to go.
We have very much evolved over the last 2 years. The sound that we had in our first EP versus what we have right now has drastically changed, and we are more than likely going to be continuing to progress and add in new elements with every release we have. It's kind of how we all work on a musical level. We're always growing, adding new things, kind of developing with what, well, as he said, what we feel at the moment, and that is reflected in what we release as musicians.
I've kind of settled on progressive metalcore, because we've got the metalcore side, but then we also pull in some parts that, you know, you just don't hear typically in metalcore. It's you know, a lot of times metalcore doesn't bring in a lot of technicality. It just brings in just the aggression part, whereas the guy over here on the bass starts just tearing it up with some tapping, slapping, and everything you don't normally hear.
Can't help it.
Hey, no, it's awesome. And you know, some odd time signatures that not a lot of people really think about, but when they hear them, it's like, that's amazing.
I started playing drums when I was just about 14, and I'm
So what's that, 3 years?
so actually I've only been playing drums for 2 years. Maybe even like a year and a half. When I was just about 14, I decided to sit down and learn some Green Day songs, and then I progressed into playing Lamb of God and then Sevenfold and Lord My Valentine, and after that, now we're here.
We thought you would be a singer when you were, what, 14?
Okay.
And we were in our first
No,
band
actually,
together?
so Josh and I, little backstory, Josh and I have been in,
There's a great video of them playing Crazy Train on the internet.
it's fantastic. Josh hates it, I'm okay with it.
What's the band called?
Khyim, Khyin. Look it up, Josh will hate it.
Make that shit go viral.
Anyway, so Josh and I have actually been in 4 bands together. I don't know how we stand each other after that long.
Wow, how long have you been playing bass?
Oh god, since the dinosaurs.
Oh.
Would you like to call him Dad?
I came out of the womb.
Bass in my hands.
Aw.
Stand up.
I actually played bass at Moses' church. It was a fun time. No, I've been playing bass for 15 years. Yeah, 15 years. 14,
Longer than
15.
I've been alive.
What the hell are you doing here?
That makes you 46, right?
I like playing metal music. Actually, I've been playing music since I was about knee-high. I started, surprisingly enough, in church stuff, doing hand chimes. Yeah. Oh, it was fantastic. Yeah, that was actually the first place I ever played bass too, in a church. And then I got not kicked out of the worship group, but the director asked me to tone it down a little bit because I was putting a lot of like cool runs and stuff like that in there, and apparently that's frowned upon in the church. And then when I was in high school, I wanted to play a cool instrument, so naturally I picked up the bass because, you know.
Because you never wanted to have a girl.
That'll get the ladies.
Oh yeah, it's the ladies all the time.
They went into Coyote Ugly in downtown Nashville, and they started talking
With
to
those
this
guys.
group of girls.
So, we were sitting at the bar, and then it was kind of a slow night. It was us and like 3 other groups of people. Pretty small night, but we had made mention of the fact that we were in a band. So they asked the group of ladies behind us, hey, let's play a game. Let's guess who plays what. So they start off with our old vocalist, Alec. Pointed to him, he's like, what do you think he does in the band? And the group of girls behind us, he's the vocalist. That's right. They pointed at Josh. What do you think he does? He plays guitar. Yes, that is right. And then they point to me. And it was just us 3 in there at the time. And they're like, drums? I was like, no. They're like, other guitar? I'm like, no. What else is there?
Well, best moment of my life.
Ouch.
I've been playing for about 14 years. Started out with a guitar from Walmart that my parents got me for Christmas at 10 years old. Sat down and learned. Yeah, hey, thank you, Dexter. Our loving manager. Sat down and learned green sleeves. Picked it up. Started playing some finger picking style acoustic licks. Eventually got a little bit into the heavier side of music. Realized that's what I really, really want to play. Still have a love for the acoustic and for all finger picking stuff. Thank you, James Taylor. But this is what I want to actually play live, what I enjoy the most, and have been doing ever since I hit 17. James, how long you been using those pipes?
Well, long enough to bang your mom. Eyes be reading good since the masters let me off the plantation. Alright, I've been doing vocals for
He knows not what he does.
about 10 years now. Yeah. Started out just like straight up just screaming. Mudvayne was my main influence on learning how to scream. I actually had one of the most embarrassing moments as a vocalist when I very first started. The worst time to get embarrassed, because I wrote this song on guitar. It's called "Ease My Soul." I was like, "Oh man, it's so good." It was like 3 chords and a whole bunch of palm muting. I thought I was like the best. And I had these ideas as far as how I want the vocals to go, which had screaming in it, but I had never screamed in my life. So, me and my brother, who we're in a band together at the time, and then a friend of ours from college, we all started, having a few drinks, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna show you guys this song. All right, here we go. All right, I record the guitar on the tape deck. See how long ago this was, tape deck. And I play it, and then it comes to the part where I want to go, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. And so I make this really weird sound, I can't even replicate it. It was just this howling sound trying to get what I wanted to be a scream out, and yeah. I almost didn't do vocals ever again after that night. But I'm prideful, so I was like, I'm going to learn how to do this, and I'm going to prove everybody wrong that I can actually scream. So it took a lot of trying and sore throats before I finally learned the proper technique of screaming. For some reason, nobody can ever really verbalize how to properly sing. I've never had actual lessons, so all the other vocalists I come across never could really tell me the proper technique. I had to figure it out over time. Progressed from Mudvayne into Killswitch Engage, things like that, and then on into Periphery, getting more into the melodic stuff, and yeah, I just kind of bring all that to the table and when everything's taken.
For the record, even 10 years ago, tank tops were obsolete.
No, I still have one. They were obsolete.
Not in his culture.
Oh my god.
We take what we do very seriously.
The falsetto or false chords to scream with. It's almost like you would be hawking a loogie, like to start out just at the basic, the most basic of it. It's almost like hawking a loogie.
I thought it was only Marge Simpson and like
It's
Pterodactyls.
like a
Like to start it out, like you have to learn how to even flex your throat and your voice in the right way to do it. So hawking a loogie is probably the best way to go about it. So yeah, Will is
They all hate me.
It all revolves around him losing his dog and his wife leaving him. And
He started shooting heroin into his balls. It was
the real story is I fired him.
Actually, I fired him.
No, we're sticking with I did it.
He did it.
yeah, he's moving on to other projects. So we're actually looking for a replacement. If you're watching this video, you think you got what it takes, hit us up. Facebook.
Kyle is the oldest member in the band.
He likes to remind us on the constant
He's an
basis.
old guy.
I'm not the one who's reminded. You fuckers are the ones who remind me.
He's gonna go nuts.
Yeah. Don't you have to take your blood pressure pill?
I will.
Waiting for the genie to come out.
I don't think there's a genie in there. I just think there's an angry fist that's gonna hit you in the
I'm gonna
face.
tackle you. Sorry about Memphis, because you were kind of distant after the fact. But he was trying to roll his cap off the stage. And check that on Facebook, Instagram,
Facebook, you know what I'm saying?
email when everything's taken.
We on SoundCloud, dropping them beats, son. Making that fire on the track.
Oh my
I hate you so
And
much.
then Josh not knowing what fire meant.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Next time, you know what I'm saying, come on out to the show. You know, have a good time with us. You know, we're gonna get a little crazy. You know, you get turned up, you know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Give me that though. You don't need that no more.
Give me that dough.